Hello and welcome to the AI Oldtimer. I'm Ant and throwing a little bit of humour into the situation because the market's going a bit crazy. What with all of the Donald's tariffs that he threatened, that he's now throwing at China, Canada and Mexico, and potentially the EU. Don't worry. You know, you're not going to lose your shirt on this one. And again, as the title suggests, this one isn't about AI, it's about crypto, because I am doing things that are all things tech, or all things tech that I'm into. Basically, a lot of people that use leverage in crypto. I mean, for a lot of people these days, the Bitcoin and the crypto market is a bit of a Vegas gambling casino lottery, just because, you know, especially the youngsters, they've got no chance of actually climbing up the aspirational ladder unless they're super smart or start their own business. You know, I just look at a lot of the youngsters in and around my circle of influence, and they haven't got a hope in hell of actually owning a property. Not that that's a particularly good thing to do, I hasten to add, but we'll get into that in other stories. I just wanted to try and throw a few words of sanity into what's going on, because an awful lot of people have lost their money, actually I'm just looking at the battery and it might cut out, so if it does I will charge it up and come back to you later. Yeah, you know, a lot of people panic, and I'm really lucky that my father was in banking for many years, so I got a very solid grounding in finance and all things investing, and I take a very old school approach, which is long term and very secure, even though I am a risk taker. I do a lot of research, I invest, and okay, my crypto portfolio has taken about a 20% hit this year, but overall I am more than 200% up, and I've only been investing for 2 years. Part of that is, you know, and I don't really care about it, because apart from my Bitcoin holdings that I dollar cost average in, everything else, especially memes and things like that, what I do is I allocate a certain amount of money, I invest it into the stock. Sometimes I'll drip feed my money in over time, but as soon as my pot has doubled, and I used to do this with stocks, I've totally got out of the stock market because the returns aren't big enough for me, because I'm getting older. You know, these are the sort of risks that I'm taking now. But what I do, as soon as it doubles, so argument's sake, if I put 10 grand into something, as soon as it's worth 20 grand, I take my initial 10 grand out, and then I don't touch the pot that I've got in there. So basically, the money that I staked or invested, I've pulled out. So everything else is 100% free and clear. And if you do that enough, you'll have a nice juicy pot of stuff that really you own for free. So it's absolute clear profit. Doesn't always happen all the time, you know, this is where doing your research and looking a lot more globally into things is good. And by the way, this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I know enough for my own investing. And I sort of see that as a problem with a lot of people, is they'll watch a few YouTube videos, they think that they're absolute genius, you know, and it's usually someone that's bragging that they've made a lot of money on meme coins and stuff like that, certainly in the early days where it was much more the wild west. And they go, oh yeah, I'll have a punt on that. And they lose the shirt, you know, especially if they use leverage. Using leverage, even in traditional markets, in the stock market, is really dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. It's a way you can get liquidated easily. That's pretty much what's happened at the moment, is a lot of people with the Donald getting in power, and he's very pro Bitcoin, pro crypto. Everyone thought that crypto was going to go to the moon within the first 3 months of this year. Well, with the tariffs, and we live in a global market, That's really impacted all of the markets, including crypto, and therefore they've tanked. And by tanking, that then triggered liquidations. So lots and lots of people, I mean billions and billions of dollars, have actually been wiped off people's trades. Feel sorry for them, but again, it really is a matter of don't gamble with money that you can't afford to lose. And investing is gambling. It's a form of gambling. They call it speculation, but it's a form of gambling. If you want safety, just leave your money in the bank. You'll lose money long term due to inflation and money printing. And that's the thesis that I'm going off, is that for years and years and years now, especially since the financial crash of 2008, governments have just been printing money to actually pay for the debt. The world is more in debt than it ever has been in the history of mankind. And governments have to pay for that money somehow, and we're all paying the price. And I don't want to ramble on too much, but hopefully that has helped. And for those of you old enough to know, I will use the phrase, "Don't panic, Mr. Mainwaring." It's not as bad as it seems, especially if you're not leveraged. So take a very conservative investment strategy. And again, put a comment down there if you like this, if you want to know more about crypto. People are liking my other videos on AI, and again, that is where I'm putting most of my research. But I know a little bit, well, I know an awful lot about investing. Know quite a bit about finance. I know a lot about business, so I'm going to do some things like that, of like how you can become more productive, how you can make yourself more valuable in the job market. As said, play safe with things, and hopefully you won't lose your shirt. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.